Hello, I'm going to do a quick silver forecast for 2020. This is put out by Scottsdale Bullion and Coin. Um, let's take a quick look. As noted in our 2019 silver price forecast, an ounce of silver went for $15.47 on December 31st, 2018. As we expected, when we declared 2019 a bright year for silver, the price of silver jumped by 15% in 2019. During the year, silver prices have reached highs of $19.50 an ounce and settled around $18 an ounce in the last trading days of December. That'd be 2019. Now the new year is here and it's time to take a look at silver price forecasts in 2020. Silver, silver, and silver. Price of silver forecast 2020. Okay, are the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 good times to buy gold and silver? I think it is. To make an informed decision, it helps to begin by looking at the many ways silver gets used, the relationship between the supply and the demand, and finally, industrial analyst estimates for the estimated price of silver in 2020. Silver supply versus demand in 2020. These three general areas spark the most of today's demand for silver. Industry. About 60% of the yearly supply of silver goes to such industrial applications such as solar panels, electric car parts, and other electrical components. Jewelry and silverware. By the way, I did a video, I'd say a few years ago, about not to buy silver jewelry for stacking. Wow, did I get killed in the comment section from somebody who worked in a jewelry store. I'll talk about that video at the end of this one. It was comical. Okay, jewelry and silverware. Of course, the jewelry and silverware industries rely upon silver for its appearance, characteristics, and relatively low price when compared to other precious metals. Investments. The rest of the silver supply gets pressed into silver bullion coins and bars. Typically, investors purchase these items from the government or private mints or on a secondary market from other investors or dealers. Silver may be bought and sold as physical objects or as assets held by funds. You shouldn't be doing that, folks. Get the physical, your first option. The latest report from the Silver Institute tracked silver supply and demand through 2019. In the last year of the survey, the global supply of silver was 1,004.3 million ounces. At the same time, the physical demand equaled 1,033.5 million ounces. Notice that the demand outweighs the supply. And that's a good thing for us silver stackers. This created a deficit of several million ounces. It's worth noting that unlike other precious metals, production uses actual account for the greatest portion of silver demand. The increase in demand for production of silver has typically been modest but consistent. For instance, Silver Institute reported these changes in the demand for the decade before, including 2018. The demand for silver, for jewelry and silverware increased about 39 million ounces. So the demand for silver to create jewelry and silverware increased by 39 million ounces. The demand for industrial silver increased by about 50 million ounces. First of all, let's go back to the 39 million ounces that jewelry and silverware ate up. Why do you think that is? People are going towards silver, first of all, because gold prices are too high when you go into a jewelry store. The gold prices are off the chain. And let me give you an example. And this goes back to the jewelry video I did a couple of years. In this video, and it ties into this comment, I said, do not, if your intentions are to stack silver, do not buy silver jewelry. And the same can be held true for gold jewelry if your intentions are to stack gold. Why? Well, let me just lay it in terms with the silver. Sterling silver. Most jewelry that is sold that is silver is sterling silver. Let's just face it. What is sterling silver? It is silver that is 92.5% purity. 92.5. Yet when you buy a wedding ring or a chain or something, they're charging you somewhere in the area of like $100 an ounce. It is ludicrous what the prices that are charged in jewelry stores are. And then just a month before Christmas, they'll mark up the prices and throw a Christmas sale on, knocking them back down to their normal price. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to say here. The demand for silver from the jewelry and silverware increased about 39 million ounces because people can't afford the ridiculous gold prices that these jewelry stores are selling their jewelry for. And most jewelry that is sold in the United States to the average consumer is only 14 carats. It's only 14 carats. And what they're asking for, 14 carat, 1 ounce ring, is beyond crazy. So people are going towards silver, folks. Okay, the demand for industrial silver increased about 50 million ounces. That's a good thing in industry. While the use for photography has declined by about 36 million ounces, it has increased for the use of solar cells from 0 to 80 million ounces. So you add these numbers up, the demand is freaking, it's outweighing the supply, and this is a good thing. Minting coins and bars has increased demand by over 100 million ounces. That's awesome. Okay, the meat and potatoes of the article. Anticipating the expected price of silver in 2020 for investors. Industrial demand. Now, I'm not going to read that chart below, but you can see it. All you have to do is be looking at this video on a computer monitor instead of a cell phone. You'll be able to see that chart. Okay, increased demand for production. Silver typically comes from industrial expansion. For instance, scholarly report on Science Daily found that increased production of solar panels has positively impacted the demand for silver as well as prices, which means the price of silver has crept up due to these demands. On the other hand, the average silver prices from the charts provided by the Silver Institute don't directly correlate to the supply deficits or deficiencies and surpluses. For instance, the average price per ounce was higher in 2016 than 2018, but the supply deficit in 2016 was actually smaller. So they're explaining why silver was higher back then. There was not as much of a demand for it. Production use of silver and generally supply and demand provides a sort of support for silver price, but doesn't tell the whole story. Safe haven demand. This is us. This is us, folks. As explained on MarketWatch. That's another good website also, folks. Investors may consider industrial and manufacturing use of silver, but that's not their primary motivation for buying it or any other precious metal. They consider their investment purchase sort of a insurance premium against market upheavals. And that's what we talk about. It's an insurance policy. Our silver is an insurance policy. MarketWatch offered examples of events or concerns that could influence the price of silver in 2020. This could include predictions or uncertainty about the following issues. Interest rate charges. What do you think it's going to happen when the interest rates go up? People are going to run to silver. Unexpected downturns in other markets, they'll vacate those other markets. Where do you think they'll go to? They'll go to precious metals like gold and silver. Political or economic instability, fluctuations in currency values, that's another mechanism for insurance. That's what we talk about. When the dollar crashes, our silver will insure us. Changes in other precious metal prices. Of course, nobody has a crystal ball to know exactly what events will transpire in 2020. It's helpful to look at the silver forecast from industry analysts and experts to explore some important scenarios. I think you're getting the gist of the article. So we have some experts who are going to predict prices per ounce, right there. That first line right there. These people are predicting prices. I'm going to read some of these prices. And the first one off the bat, I think, is a little, I don't hold much weight in that. Why? Because it looks like he owns a silver company. Keith Neumeyer, CEO, First Majestic Silver. He's saying $130 an ounce. I think it's going to get $130 an ounce, but not this year. E.B. Tucker, Director of Metella Royalty and Streaming. He's thinking $20+ an ounce. That's pretty good. Think about it. If you have 1,000 ounces and silver went up $2, you just made a $2,000 hedge. Focus Economics says it's going to actually go down to 1660. We have somebody who's agreeing with E.B. Tucker, longforecast.com. It's a forecasting agency, by the way. They're predicting $22. So that would be almost a $4 increase. Not bad. Degussa Analyst, another analyst company, is saying $23. Joanne Wiebe, analyst, Thomson Reuters. Well, anything that says Reuters, I don't believe, is $17.50. So anyway, you get the gist of where it's going. Most of these folks say it's going to go a little bit higher. So there's some good news. Keep stacking your silver, keep stacking your gold, and until next video, take care.